I wasn't supposed to hear it. I wasn't even supposed to be home. But there I was, standing in the narrow hallway of my mother's house, frozen in place as their voices leaked through the cracked living room door. "She won't suspect a thing," my sister Mariah whispered. "Good," my mother replied sharply. "She deserves a reality check. Christmas is the perfect time." Laughter, cold, sharp. Then my brother added, "Imagine her face when everyone sees it." My heart hammered painfully. It? What it? My fingers tightened around the grocery bag I had offered to bring inside, the scent of cinnamon and apples suddenly turning sour. I leaned closer. "She's too proud," Mom said, "always acting like she's doing well. This will put her back in her place." Laughter, cold, sharp. Then my brother added, "Imagine her face when everyone sees it." My heart hammered painfully. It? What it? My fingers tightened around the grocery bag I had offered to bring inside, the scent of cinnamon and apples suddenly turning sour. I leaned closer. "She's too proud," Mom said, "always acting like she's doing well. This will put her back in her place." I felt like the floor fell from under me, because the truth was, I was struggling. I'd recently lost my job, and I'd hidden it to avoid being their punching bag again. Their plan wasn't surprise, wasn't love, it was humiliation. On Christmas, in front of extended family. My vision blurred with tears I refused to let fall. I backed away slowly, my heart cracking with every step. They thought they'd break me. They didn't know they had just started something much bigger. I slipped into the guest room and shut the door quietly, sinking to the floor with my back against it. My breath came in shaky bursts as I tried to process what I'd just overheard. Humiliate me? Put me in my place? My own family. I wrapped my arms around my knees, feeling like I was 16 again, small, invisible, and unwanted. They'd always treated me like the weak one, the one who never measured up. And no matter how hard I tried to distance myself from them, something always pulled me back. But now there was no going back. I wiped my cheeks with my sleeve. I needed details, proof, a way to understand their plan before they executed it. I crawled closer to the vent near the floor. It connected directly to the living room. Their voices filtered through faintly, but enough. "Wait till she opens the gift," Mariah said. "Everyone will see the truth." What truth? That I was jobless, lonely, broke? My pulse throbbed painfully. "And make sure someone records her reaction," Mom added. "This is going to be priceless." A video. They planned to record my humiliation, probably to post on the family group chat, or worse, social media. My stomach knotted. The betrayal was suffocating. But beneath the hurt, something else sparked. Anger. Quiet at first, then louder, hotter, sharper. If they wanted a show, I'd give them one. The attic wasn't somewhere we ever went. Even as kids, Mom kept it locked except for rare occasions. But now, the lock was rusted and weak. One twist with a hairpin, and it clicked open. Dust swirled in the dim light as I stepped inside. The air was thick with the smell of old wood and forgotten memories. I wasn't sure what I was looking for, but when a family spends years hiding things, the attic is the best place to start. Boxes towered against the walls, some labeled, some not. I dug through the unlabeled ones first. Old tax returns, receipts, school records. Then, a folder with my name. My stomach tightened. Inside were copies of letters I'd never seen, acceptance letters to colleges I didn't know I got into, scholarships addressed to me, even one from a writing program I dreamed of attending. All hidden. Mom had always told me I wasn't accepted anywhere, that I didn't try hard enough, that I wasn't meant for big things. My hands shook with rage as the truth hit me. She sabotaged me, not just once, over and over. I felt the ground tilt. This wasn't just about Christmas humiliation. This was a pattern, a lifetime of control. And suddenly, I knew exactly where to aim. This wasn't going to be petty revenge. This was going to be exposure. Descending the attic stairs, my heart pounded, not with fear, but with purpose. I had ammunition now, real, undeniable proof of who my mother truly was. But I needed more. I headed to the kitchen, where I heard shuffling. I froze when I saw him, Uncle Derek, Mom's younger brother, the family's black sheep. He'd always been treated like an outsider, just like me. He looked up, surprised. "Didn't know you were staying over." "Didn't plan to," I muttered. He watched me for a long moment, then said, "You heard them, didn't you?" I stiffened. "What?" "I saw you by the hallway earlier," he said quietly, "and I overheard some of it too." A pause, heavy. Then he added, "Your mom's been doing this kind of thing for years, to everyone." My throat tightened. Why? "Control, image, power," he said. "You, more than anyone, threaten her narrative." I blanked, stunned. He reached into his jacket and handed me a small USB drive. "I've been gathering things, in case someone ever needed it." "What's on it?" I whispered. "Proof," he said, "of what she's done. Financial things, lies, manipulation, enough to turn the family upside down." My breath hitched. This was bigger than I thought. "Why give it to me?" I whispered. "Because," he said, eyes meeting mine, "I think you're finally ready to stop taking her hits." I closed my fingers around the drive. He was right. I was ready. I locked myself in the guest room again, my palms sweating as I plugged the USB drive into my laptop. The screen flickered before loading a neatly organized folder labeled Evidence. My stomach flipped. Inside were subfolders: financial fraud, family lies, manipulation records, voice notes, screenshots, deleted messages. I clicked the first one. Immediately, PDFs popped up, bank transfers I didn't recognize, my mother's signature next to my grandmother's name, money being siphoned into an account I knew didn't belong to Grandma. My breath caught. This was illegal. I opened another file, screenshots of group chats between Mom, Mariah, and my brother. In them, they discussed me like I was a joke. "She thinks she's so independent. Wait till she opens that envelope. This Christmas will be iconic." My jaw clenched so hard it ached. Then I found audio files. I clicked one. Mom's voice spilled out. "Honestly, if she disappears from the family after this, good. She's dead weight." My vision blurred. I felt my throat close with something between heartbreak and fury. This wasn't just humiliation. This was cruelty crafted with intention. I closed the laptop slowly. I had everything I needed to destroy the version of themselves they loved flaunting, but destruction had to be calculated, and Christmas was suddenly the perfect stage. The moment Talia walked through my apartment door later that night, I thrust the laptop toward her. "You need to see this." She scrolled for 5 minutes before slamming the laptop shut. "Oh, hell no." Her voice shook with outrage. "Your mom is evil, like actual villain-level evil." I swallowed hard. Hearing someone else say it made it real. "She wants to humiliate me in front of the whole family," I said. "They all do." "And what are we going to do about it?" Talia asked, raising an eyebrow. I hesitated. "I don't know yet. I want something smart, something unforgettable." Talia smirked. "I've been waiting years to legally, but creatively, destroy your mother's ego. Just tell me the vibe." I exhaled. "I want them exposed, publicly, the way they planned for me." She sat back thinking. Then her eyes lit up. "The Christmas party. Everyone will be there, right?" "Yeah, extended family, neighbors, church friends." "Perfect audience," she said, smiling like a strategist enjoying chaos. "What if the gift they planned for you becomes a mirror?" A shiver ran down my spine. "What do you mean?" "I mean," she said slowly, "you let them hand you their little humiliation gift, and then you hand them yours." I felt something powerful wake inside me. Revenge wasn't just coming, it was forming shape. To pull off revenge, you have to look weak first. unthreatening, predictable. So, for the next few days, I played the role. I responded nicely to Mom's sarcastic texts. I let Mariah send me outfit suggestions that were definitely designed to make me look cheap. I pretended to be confused, hopeful, eager for Christmas. It killed me inside. But predators relax when prey stops running. Meanwhile, Talia and I built our plan quietly. She created backups of the evidence, organized everything into a video compilation, and helped me draft a speech. Short, cutting, impossible to twist. But the key part? What I was going to gift them. We designed identical gift boxes, beautiful, shiny, with embossed snowflakes. Mine held the humiliation they planned for me. Theirs held the truth I planned for them. Each box had a little card. Merry Christmas. Here's what you never expected. Every night, I imagined their faces when they realized the trap they'd set had closed around them instead. Still, something nagged me. What exactly had they put in my box? I needed to know. So, I decided to snoop. And what I found? I was not prepared for. 3 days before Christmas, I crept into Mariah's room while she was out. My hands trembled as I rummaged through drawers until I found it, a glossy silver gift box with my name written in curly script. My heart pounded. I lifted the lid. Inside was a stack of printed photos, screenshots of my bank balance, my job rejection emails, and pictures of my apartment. My chest tightened. They'd been inside my home. Then I found a letter titled, "The Truth About Your Life." I unfolded it. They had written a full monologue mocking me. My job loss, my breakup, my debt. Mariah had even added notes like, "Pause here for laughter. Zoom in on her face when she cries." They planned to read it aloud, on camera, in front of everyone. I felt sick. At the bottom of the box was something worse, a fake eviction notice, designed to look real. I nearly dropped it. This was psychological warfare, not a prank, not family teasing. This was cruelty sharpened into entertainment. I put everything back carefully, my movements robotic. If I'd ever doubted I was doing the right thing, those doubts were ashes now. They wanted to break me on Christmas. I was going to break their legacy instead. Christmas Eve buzzed with fake warmth. The house smelled like cinnamon and roasted turkey, but beneath the festive surface was something rotten. I could feel their eyes on me, calculating, amused. Mom kept saying, "You must be excited for tomorrow." With a smirk she tried to hide behind her mug of cocoa. I smiled back sweetly. "More than you know." My gift boxes sat neatly under the tree, 5 of them. One for Mom, one for Mariah, one for my brother, one for my aunt, one for my uncle who pretended not to know anything. Mom's box was the one that mattered most. Meanwhile, the evidence video Talia and I prepared was stored on 3 devices: USB, phone, cloud backup. If someone tried to stop me, it wouldn't matter. That night, I lay awake in the guest bed listening to them laugh downstairs, planning, anticipating, thrilled for the moment I would fall apart. But all I felt was clarity. Tomorrow, I wasn't walking into a trap. I was detonating one. When I finally drifted off, it was with one thought echoing in my mind. They chose the stage, I'll choose the ending. Every eye in the living room locked onto me as I held the last unopened box. My hands were steady, steadier than they'd ever been, because I knew this was the moment everything shifted. This, I said, raising the silver box slightly, is the part you didn't see coming. Mom's breath hitched. "Don't you dare." I ignored her and opened the box myself. Inside was a stack of papers tied with a red ribbon. I untied it slowly, savoring the tension in the room. "These," I announced, "are copies of the college acceptance letters you hid from me, the scholarships you threw away, the opportunities you stole because you couldn't stand the thought of me succeeding without you." Gasps erupted again. Someone whispered, "She did what?" Another said, "That's unforgivable." Mom lunged forward. "You don't know what you're talking about. I did what I had to. You were not ready." "No," I snapped, stepping back. "You needed me to fail so you could stay in control." I held up the letters high enough for everyone to see. She made sure I never left this house. Emotionally, she sabotaged every chance I had for a better life. Tears stung my eyes, but not from pain, from release. Mom looked around frantically, realizing no one was defending her. And for the first time in my life, she looked small. The living room buzzed with tension, but Mom's voice rose above it all, shrill, cracking, desperate. "This is an attack," she screamed. "She edited everything. She's lying. I've sacrificed everything for her." "No," Uncle Derek said firmly, stepping forward. "You've sacrificed everything for yourself, and we all knew it. We just didn't have proof until now." Mom turned on him, trembling with rage. "You traitor! You always hated me." He shrugged. "Only because you made it easy." The room murmured with shock. Mariah threw her hands up. "This is ridiculous. So what if we planned a little prank? She's too sensitive." "Prank?" I repeated, my voice icy. "Breaking into my apartment? Printing my financial records? Planning to live stream my humiliation?" Several relatives shook their heads, disgusted. My brother snapped. "You should have just taken the joke." "Oh, like your girlfriend will take this?" I cut in, holding up the USB containing his cheating videos. His face drained of color. Mom tried one final desperate tactic. "Enough. Everyone stop listening to her. She's unstable." I looked her dead in the eye. "No, Mom. For the first time in my life, I'm stable. You're just losing control." Her lips quivered. That's when she screamed, a raw, animal sound, and charged straight at me. Time slowed. I saw her face twisted with panic, denial, rage. I saw her arms outstretched, fingers curled like claws. I saw relatives gasp and stand, but not quick enough. And then she slammed into me. The impact knocked the breath from my lungs as I stumbled backward, hitting the corner of the coffee table. Pain exploded down my spine. "Stop!" Uncle Derek roared, yanking her away from me. Mom thrashed like someone drowning. "She ruined everything, everything." My aunt grabbed her shoulders. "What is wrong with you?" My head spun. I sucked in air, trembling, but I refused to cry. Not now. Not for her. I pushed myself up slowly, ignoring the dull ache radiating across my back. "See," I said, my voice quiet but cutting. "This is who she really is." The room had shifted completely. Relatives who once worshipped her now stared at her with fear and disgust. Some backed away. Some whispered things they'd never dared say before. And Mom sank to her knees, shaking, realizing the illusion she'd built for decades had just collapsed in front of everyone. But the worst part for her? She knew it wasn't over. There was still one truth left, the one I had saved for last. I steadied myself and reached into my pocket, pulling out a small flash drive, the real trump card. My mother's eyes widened, panic flooding her face. "No," she whispered, "not that. Please." Her desperation confirmed everything. "This," I said, calmly, "is the full recording of your financial fraud. You forged Grandma's signature. You drained her account while pretending you were struggling to care for her. You lied to everyone." People gasped. Aunt Clara clutched her chest. "You stole from your own mother?" Uncle Derek nodded grimly. "I've seen the files myself." Mom shook her head violently. "She's manipulating you. She's always—" "No," I cut in. "I'm done being your scapegoat." I handed the flash drive to Uncle Derek in front of everyone. "Keep it. Use it if she tries anything again." Mom's entire face crumbled. "You can't do this to me. I'm your mother." I inhaled sharply. "You stopped being my mother the moment you planned to break me for entertainment." The room went quiet. Mom sobbed, loud, ugly, uncontrollable. But sympathy? None came. Even Mariah and my brother stepped away from her, distancing themselves as if exposure were contagious. I turned toward the staircase, ready to leave. But then, someone unexpected blocked my path. As I approached the stairs, someone stood up, slowly, shakily, blocking my way. Grandma! I hadn't even realized she was there. She'd been sitting quietly in the back, wrapped in her pale blue shawl, watching everything unfold with tired eyes. My heart clenched. "Grandma, I didn't want you to see all this." She raised a trembling hand, silencing me. "I needed to," she said, her voice soft but steady. "For far too long, I pretended not to see who your mother was becoming. I let her take control, because I thought she needed it. But I didn't know she stole from me." Her gaze hardened. "Or from you." Mom sobbed harder. "Mom, please, you know I only did it because—" Grandma held up her hand again. "No excuses." The silence was suffocating. Grandma stepped closer to me, gently cupping my face. "You were the only one who ever told the truth. They punished you for it." She looked around the room. "But today, you showed us who they truly are." Her grip tightened slightly. Then Grandma turned to the room. "From this moment forward, things will change, starting with her." She pointed at my mother, and the room erupted. I didn't know what I expected to find in the attic, but certainly not this. The air smelled like dust and old secrets. My flashlight beam swept across boxes, furniture draped in sheets, then something metallic glinted from the corner. A safe. I froze. My father never kept valuables in the attic. I knelt, brushed off the dust, and my breath caught. I recognized the engraving on the corner, my grandfather's initials. This wasn't just any safe. It was the one rumored to hold documents that could ruin or redeem a family. The safe was already unlocked. My hands trembled as I slowly opened it. Inside were neatly arranged folders labeled with each family member's name: financial records, debts, property transfers, and then something that punched the air from my lungs. A folder with my name. Except it wasn't about me. It contained signed statements from the family, my mother, sister, and cousins. Each one was dated 3 months ago. Each one was agreeing to remove me from all family inheritance claims because they believed I lacked contribution, stability, and value. Underneath them was one more paper. My father's letter. But it wasn't signed. It simply read, "To my daughter. If you're reading this, then they acted before I could." I felt the floor tilt under me. They hadn't just planned to humiliate me. They were planning to erase me. My pulse thundered in my ears as I picked up my father's unsigned letter. So he knew. Maybe not every detail, but he suspected they'd turn on me the moment he was no longer around to protect me. I whispered into the empty attic, "I'm so sorry, you were right." But then my shock turned slowly into something sharper, colder: purpose. I slid the folder into my bag, climbed down the attic ladder, and walked straight to my room. The house was silent, everyone still busy soaking in the chaos from the previous exposures I'd sent out. Perfect. I retrieved my mini audio recorder, the same one that caught their disgusting dinner conversation, and turned it on. I spoke clearly. Statement. They removed me from the inheritance without my knowledge. They attempted public humiliation. They planned financial ruin and social destruction. Evidence is attached. Then I laid out everything I had uncovered. Every recording. Every document. Every confession they had slipped out when they thought I wasn't listening. After that, I uploaded everything into a secured cloud vault linked to a timed email release system. If anything happened to me, everyone, friends, coworkers, extended relatives, would receive the file. All of this wasn't just protection, it was leverage. They had chosen war, but they forgot something crucial. I fight quietly, I fight smart, and I never lose twice. Christmas morning in my family used to mean cinnamon rolls, carols, and laughter. This year, it felt like walking onto a battlefield wearing perfume instead of armor. When I stepped into the living room, everyone froze. Mom's eyes were red from crying. My sister avoided eye contact. My cousins whispered like mice trapped in a corner. Good. They should be scared. Dad sat silently by the window, pretending to read the newspaper. He wasn't really reading. He was waiting. He could sense something had shifted. I cleared my throat. "We're opening gifts together this morning, right?" No one answered. So I reached under the tree and lifted one box, wrapped in gold paper and tied with a velvet ribbon. The tag said, "To my family, from the one you underestimated." You could hear their hearts stop. I set it on the center table and stepped back. Go ahead, open it. No one moved. So Dad, God bless him, finally stood, walked over, and untied the ribbon. When he opened the box, the entire room gasped. Inside was a tablet, already unlocked, displaying every piece of evidence: audio recordings, screenshots, signed inheritance removal documents, financial betrayals, group chats mocking me, and their plan for the Christmas humiliation. It played automatically. Their own voices filled the room, and for once, they had nothing left to hide behind. The room erupted. My mother burst into tears, not the remorseful kind, but the angry, entitled kind. My sister covered her mouth as if she wanted to disappear. My cousins scattered like roaches exposed to sunlight. Good. They should be scared. Dad sat silently by the window, pretending to read the newspaper. He wasn't really reading. He was waiting. He could sense something had shifted. I cleared my throat. We're opening gifts together this morning, right? No one answered. So I reached under the tree and lifted one box, wrapped in gold paper and tied with a velvet ribbon. The tag said, "To my family, from the one you underestimated." You could hear their hearts stop. I set it on the center table and stepped back. Go ahead, open it. No one moved. So Dad, God bless him, finally stood, walked over, and untied the ribbon. When he opened the box, the entire room gasped. Inside was a tablet, already unlocked, displaying every piece of evidence: audio recordings, screenshots, signed inheritance removal documents, financial betrayals, group chats mocking me, and their plan for the Christmas humiliation. It played automatically. Their own voices filled the room, and for once, they had nothing left to hide behind. The room erupted. My mother burst into tears, not the remorseful kind, but the angry, entitled kind. My sister covered her mouth as if she wanted to disappear. My cousins scattered like roaches exposed to sunlight. Good. They should be scared. Dad just collapsed into his chair, shaking his head slowly. How could you do this? He asked them, his voice barely more than a whisper. He wasn't asking me. He was asking them. Mom snapped. She set us up. This is manipulation. I laughed, actually laughed. Manipulation? You all met without me for months. You plotted to humiliate me at Christmas. You cut me out of the inheritance. You wrote statements calling me useless. And you think I set you up? My sister finally exploded. We were tired of always having to look after you. Look after me, I repeated, or control me. Silence. Dad asked softly, "Did any of you come to me before signing those papers?" No one answered. He stood, walked to the fireplace, and removed the framed family portrait from above the mantel. Beneath it was a hidden compartment. He pressed a button, a small metal safe popped out. He entered a combination, clicked it open, and pulled out the real will. My breath caught. Everyone else paled. Dad handed it to me, not them, and the room shattered all over again. When I unfolded the will, my vision blurred. Everything they tried to erase, my father had already accounted for. The new will, signed just 2 months ago, clearly stated, "My daughter receives 80% of the estate. The remaining 20% is divided equally." The room imploded. My cousin screamed. My sister collapsed onto the sofa. My mother whispered, "This can't be legal." "It's very legal," Dad replied, "and it reflects who actually showed loyalty." They looked at me with a mix of horror, resentment, and fear. And for the first time in my life, I didn't shrink. I stood taller. "I'm not kicking anyone out," I said calmly, "but I won't be your punching bag ever again." I took a deep breath. Now for the final gift. I pulled out my phone and tapped a button. Every phone in the room buzzed at once. I had sent them the full evidence file, Everything they said, everything they did, everything they signed. None of this could ever be twisted, ever be denied. "This is your wake-up call," I said. "Not revenge, just truth." They stared at me like they were seeing a stranger. But I wasn't a stranger. I was the daughter they underestimated, the woman they tried to erase, and the one who walked out of that house not just with the inheritance, but with my power restored, my dignity reclaimed, and my story finally my own.